And we are live. Well, let's turn the phone down, just in case.
Yeah, turn the phone down.
Turn the phone down. Good morning. Welcome to Friday, beginning of March. I don't know where this year's gone already. It's all a bit mad, really. But there you go. If you are watching, do pop a hello in the comments. I'm just looking. I haven't got any of my little things on. Look, totally unorganized this morning, obviously. Let's put, there we go. That's what we needed. Good morning, Caroline. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Janet. You're going to have to look at the comments. Lots of happy birthdays on here. The old boy's 60 today.
No, it's me, not the old boy.
Good evening, Sephora. Good morning, Kerry. Our youngest keeps maintaining you're only 53 anyway, doesn't he? Apparently you've stuck at 53.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know what that's all about. So yes, Pete's birthday today. So here we go. March. Spring. Signs of spring. Hurrah! It's all beginning to happen in Mother Nature. Oh, I blinked and all sorts of comments came up then all in one go. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Christine. Yes, happy birthday to the #1 coffee maker. Thank you, Paul. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning, Leslie Ann. Good morning, Kerry. Eric's out. He's not in here today. He's out in the kitchen soaking up the sun coming through the window. Good morning, Maria. Thank you. Good morning, Jane. Sephora, does he get the day off coffee making on his birthday?
No, I doubt it.
Good morning, Max. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning, Jay. Yeah, it's birthday day today. You've had your Krispy Kreme donuts, as is the tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Jenny. Yeah, likes a donut. Yeah. Not that fussed on donuts. I have to be honest, not that fussed on donuts. Each to their own. Each to their own. Good morning, Debbie. Christine, already told Pete that you should be making the coffee for him. Yeah, but I'd have to go and then come back, wouldn't I? And seriously, you probably don't want to sit here with just Pete talking to you, because it would just get terribly
terribly what?
Carry on film.
What? Well, yeah. You make that sound like it's a bad thing.
Although he makes the coffee, he doesn't actually drink coffee himself. He has a cup of tea. There you go. Well, Marmite motivated today. Well, I think there may be a fried breakfast on the horizon.
Tepid spud with tuna.
Not for breakfast. Jane, what? Not even Tesco jam donuts? They're the best. No, I don't like. I mean, I'll eat a donut if pushed, but no, not a big donut fan.
No, ring donut, you know.
Yeah, he likes the Krispy Kreme ring donuts. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Janet's asking what your favourite cake is. I would have to say caramel swirl cake.
Well, the ones that you make, yeah.
Yeah, caramel swirl cake. Pretty much anything with caramel in.
And Lidl's toffee yum yum.
Oh yeah, Lidl's toffee yum yum. Yeah.
Yeah, Lidl's toffee yum yum.
Heather, Carry On films are fab. Yeah, we have got them all, obviously. Good morning, Kerry.
You live them.
I do live them. Yes. Hi, Danielle. Good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Charlie. Welcome to March. So when I was thinking about what to talk about, I thought it's the beginning of March. Good morning, Tony. So let's talk about March. Good morning, little Miss Nemo. If I knew how to include little pictures, I would. Yeah, I'm not sure how it works. I don't think it works very well on the things. I don't think you can on it on there while I'm live. One of those technical Uji flip things. Good morning, Lizzie. Jane, in Spain, Lidl, we have been to a Lidl in Spain, sell a lovely chocolate donut called Woobly Bom Bom.
Oh, that's worth it just for the name.
That's worth it just for the name. It is, yes. Good morning, Christine. Yeah, I know, Maria. March already. So, good morning, Sarah. As some of you know, I tend to work more with the months rather than seasons or Sabbats specifically. I like to break the months down because I think if you are making a connection with the energy of the day, with the energy of the week, with the energy of the month, you're more in touch with everything that's going on in Mother Nature. So I thought this morning we would have a look at March. Good morning, Kelly.
Are you doing your gigs?
Good morning, Helen. Would you like me to do those first? No, let's do them first. So I'm talking for WitchCon online tomorrow. It runs all weekend from today, Saturday, Sunday, all online. Fantastic event. So well organised. Loads and loads of really brilliant speakers. Next weekend, Saturday, March the 11th, is MoonCon. The third one, MoonCon 23. Just a one-day event in the spring and then another one-day event in the autumn, all online, all absolutely free. Talks from noon till 8 p.m. is the last one. All on Moonbooks Publishing Facebook page and Moonbooks YouTube channel. Open to everyone. Lots and lots of lovely authors talking for that. I'm not actually talking. I'm going to be behind the scenes, pedaling the bicycle. For that one. Lots of fab authors though. What else we got? Wild Witchcraft Conference, March 25th, I want to say, Horndean. Brilliant event. I will be talking at that one, and the girls and I will be there with the stall. What else we got? Wandering Witches, Saturday 15th of April in Cow Plain in Hampshire. Another fabulous event. The girls and I will be there with the stall. We've got an online ritual as well. Sunday 19th of March, open to everyone over on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook page and the Kitchen Witch YouTube channel. I think that's it for now. Check out the events page on my website. You'll find it all there. You may carry on. Thank you. Good morning, Judy. Jane, you sound like a moon witch. Well, I work with the moon a lot. Work with the sun a lot too. You wrote a book about that. I wrote a book about it. I wrote two books about the moon. Yeah. Charlie loved the green blouse. Is it leopard print and flowers? Yeah, pretty much. It's a dress. It's a dress. Next sale. Maria had a Jaffa cake. Jaffa cake, I'm assuming, on the other day. Very nice. Very nice. Christine, be you the March spring fairy with their lovely dress. It was totally coincidental that the dress happens to be a bit springy. Just the way it goes. Yes, as Heather says, at the Kitchen Witch online ritual, we will be crafting. We will be making bunnies with googly eyes. So have a look at the Facebook event to see what bits you need. Good morning, Damien. Always enjoy MoonCon. Yes, it is good. It is good. Jenny, so good to have in-person events and online. We're spoiled. Yes, it's a nice mix, I think, isn't it? And then you cover everybody. Coven of pipe cleaners, googly eyes, and hot glue guns. Zenny. Yeah, I don't have a glue gun. I am going to have to get one on time. Oh, Maria says Jaffa cake donut from Lidl. We'll have to look at them. Oh. So let's talk spring. Let's talk spring. Janet, many signs of spring here. Been seeing huge robins. Also, I have plants pushing through the ground. Hope they don't freeze. Yeah, with all of our daffodils are out. Our hellebores have been flowering like mad for the last 2 months, really. Actually, the hellebores are amazing. Yeah. I have noticed the tulips are peaking, the leaves are peaking above the ground. And yeah, all the stuff in the garden is starting to have buds and shoots and all showing its beautiful faces. It is. Spring is happening, but I do appreciate that it's not happening everywhere. And I think this is really one of my points. Just because it's the beginning of March, just because we've got Ostara around the corner, doesn't mean that it's the same everywhere, not even everywhere across the country, let alone across the world. I think you have to I think the important thing about connecting with the energy of nature is so that it is relevant to the area that you're in. So there you go. So March brings its own energy. Where I am, down in the south of England, there are lots of green leaves and buds and shoots, and birds are singing their little hearts out. I think March carries the energy of new beginnings. It carries the energy of fresh starts. There's a kind of promise in the air, really. Fertility, if you can say it, it's on the horizon. I like to think of March as a chocolate month too, because, you know, Ostara, and then we have Easter, although Easter's April this year, isn't it? Beginning of April. But I think chocolate's worth bringing into the mix. The Anglo-Saxons called March, and I'm going to try and pronounce this, Hreth Monath. I have no idea if that's how I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hretha is an old word for earth, and it is the name of an ancient fertility goddess called Hereda. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. I've seen the word many times, read about her, not sure how to pronounce it. It was a month of purifying and cleansing. Spring cleaning. March takes its name from the Roman god of war, Mars. That's where we get the name from. But I think they're onto something there. It is the whole spring cleaning. It's the spring energy. It's fresh new beginnings. It's cleansing. It's let's have a clear out, ready for everything that's coming, all the growth of everything. So Xenia says, it's not spring in northern Germany yet. It's there. It's under the soil. It's poised and ready to pounce. Jane says, can't mow the lawn yet. Let's get some of these up. Can't mow the lawn yet. It's filling up with celandines. Lovely green flowered hellebore has self-seeded in a couple of places. Nice. Something magical about green flowers. There is. The girls and I went to Fishbourne Roman Palace on Wednesday. Amazing place. And there was, we weren't sure what the plant was. Looked a bit like a hellebore. Looked a bit like a euphorbia. We weren't sure. Nest took a shot and we plant netted it. And that was a hellebore. Lots of the lovely little green flowers, but little tiny ones. Beautiful, beautiful. We've got a white hellebore and a purple one in the garden. Amazing. Jenny, working on creating a community garden, hoping to pick up some tips by osmosis as I'm a bit hopeless. It'll come to you. It'll come to you. Brilliant idea, though. Karen, it was spring yesterday. Today, winter has returned. It is colder today. Now, there's the Kalech, isn't it? The Kalech's fighting back. She's hanging on to for dear life, not letting spring come through. So she is, she's fighting. Keeps making an appearance. Hannah, morning. Walking to an interview along the canal in the fresh March nature. Fantastic. Hope it all goes well for you, Hannah. Good morning, Pauline. Lizzie, yesterday I ordered seeds from the Real Seed Company and some potatoes. Can't remember where from. Compost on its way soon. Yes, it's that time of
coffee.
Planting. Coffee would be lovely, thank you. It's that time of the year of seed catalogues, isn't it? And bulb catalogues and not bulbs because they're already in the ground, but seed catalogues and plant catalogues. Yeah, fab. Jane, is there a non-chocolate month? Oh no. No, they're all chocolate months in some form. Debbie, good morning. The morning's getting lighter, garden coming alive, starting to feel energized once more. It is, and even if you can't see the signs above the earth yet, it's there. It's poised. Jane, chunky green one is Helleborus or argutifolius. That's the thing, isn't it? There are so many different varieties within the one that's genus, that's the word. But beautiful. They are all beautiful. Kate, beautiful iris, crocus and daffs up here in North Wales, along with the hellebore, soothes the soul. Actually, when we'd been to Fishbourne Roman Palace, we went to a cafe, obviously, down in Bosham, and we went to a beautiful old church. And in the graveyard there was a pink hyacinth flowering. There were crocuses, there were daffodils, there were cyclamen. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good morning, Andrea. Leslie Ann, in medieval times, people ate bitter herbs to clean the blood after all the smoked, salted, and pickled food. It makes sense, doesn't it? It absolutely makes sense. Well, look, I'm not going to do that, but it does make sense. Good morning, Jackie. I'm going to have fried breakfast. That'll make me feel much better. Charlie, love spring and autumn, my favourite seasons. Love spring, all the colours, flowers, and that very specific energy creeping in. You can feel it, can't you? Imbolc is my new year, and then March, Ostara, brings me out of hibernation. March is the month for me when everything starts happening. It is the whole spring energy thing. Emma, our daffs aren't up yet, but I think the self-seeded crocuses are starting to make an appearance. Yes, they do often appear before them, don't they? Jane, at this time of the year, one of our neighbours has a truckload of dung delivered, usually horse manure, but this year it's a mix of horse and pig. Now, having worked on and lived on a pig farm in my late teens, I can attest to how much pig poop smells. Sephora, we've had a pretty dreary summer here in New Zealand, and we're all hopeful for an extended summer like you had in the Northern Hemisphere. But I think this weekend we're getting a stiff serving of autumn. It is that in-betweeny time, isn't it? It's that transitional time where some days are warmer, some days are colder, and you never really know what's happening. Maria, what bulbs can I plant now? With the daffs and the tulips were all planted in the autumn. So probably a bit late for bulbs, Maria, but you will find loads of spring flowers. In the garden centres. There'll be my head's gone. Primlas and primroses. They'll all be in full. They'll all be in full flower now, and loads of lovely bright colours.
The tulips will probably be out in the garden centre.
Yes, you buy flowering bulbs now. You'll be able to buy them ready flowered, but bulbs to plant need to go in the autumn really to flower for the spring. Xenia, also love these colourful seasons, spring and autumn, lots of colour and change. Debbie, lots and lots of Spanish bluebells growing. Crocuses are out, snowdrops and wild garlic too. Cherry tree is in blossom. Beautiful. Be mindful of the Spanish bluebells because they take over. They are very invasive. Lizzie, you can buy bitter herb tincture, which does similar to the eating of spring herbs. Thank you. I'm still not going to do it. You're not going to talk me out of my fried breakfast. Hannah, some places in Britain are forecast snow in the next week. It is that period, isn't it? When you're going, we've got sunshine today. It's cold, but it's sunny. But yeah, you'll have spring's on the way, and then it'll be wham, have some snow. You can never tell at the moment. Sephora, time to start your annual and perennial seeds to plant out once it gets warmer indeed. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Louise. I think it is a good time of the year to start looking for those signs of spring. You might see some butterflies and bees starting to make themselves known on warmer days as the month goes on. Some of the birds will be beginning to nest as well. You might see young rabbits in the fields or alongside of the roads. And you might even see mayflies starting to emerge near the streams and the ponds. Get yourself outside and have a look. Have a look and see what's happening out in nature. I like to look at the celebrations that go on during the month. And I wrote about it in A Witch for Every Season. That's pretty much what this book's about. I like to look at the folklore. I like to look at the folk traditions. I like to look at the celebrations. And a lot of them are Christian. There's a lot of saint stuff going on in every month, really. But then I like to paganize it because it doesn't matter what religion, what faith, what tradition it is. It's going to bring an energy to the month. And it's about working with that energy. Oh, look, thank you. Thank you. That's it. Oh. Okay.
What?
Knocked my camera then.
Did I?
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, I didn't touch it.
God, don't let him near anything electrical. You're a bit of a curse on the computers, aren't you?
I was a foot away from your video.
You're going to have to look at it. So I do like to look at the celebrations that are perhaps not pagan, but find a way of paganizing them, finding a way of working with that energy in a way that works for me. So we'll have a look at those in a sec. Willow moon does feel like magic when a beautiful bright crocus pops its head up amongst the dishevelled garden. They do. They are a splash of colour, aren't they? Thank you, Louise. Jenny visited a local conservation and rewilding charity, Wildwood, and the bears are coming out of Topor, and one looked like it wanted just 5 more minutes. Yeah, I can relate to that. Also saw staff making a birthday cake for a wallaby. Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. Jane, I always put a good measure of Angostura bitters in a hot toddy to stave off colds. Genesian works well too. You are not going to talk me out of my breakfast. I know you're trying. Not going to happen. Good morning, Baz. No snow. Too many road trips. No, I know. Do have a look, people. Sprig and Mist are, well, they're not sitting still this year. Do have a look at Sprig and Mist. Fantastic pagan band. They are travelling all over the place this year. So do have a look. Willow moon. We had no bluebells this year. Normally they're everywhere. That's quite sad. Have I seen any this year? No, I don't think I have actually either. Hannah. Seen bees and the ducks are pairing up. Yes, we saw a pair of ducks when we were out on Wednesday. Debbie, yes, I've noticed there's far more Spanish bluebells this year, but love the gorgeous colour. They can stay this year. Also found aconites growing. They're very pretty too. Yeah, it is about being mindful of the Spanish bluebells because they are very invasive. Xenia, love the birds singing. That finally occurs. We have several blackbirds again yet. We have a nesting pair of blackbirds in our garden. It's fab. After there were a few to none. After there was a virus infection that killed a lot of the blackbirds in previous years. Oh, that's sad. Love the blackbirds singing. Yeah, let's positive energy for them coming back. Yeah, my magical coffee turned my camera off. Good morning, Tess. Snowdrops and crocuses. Yeah, there were. Where did we see lots of snowdrops? I think saw lots of snowdrops on Wednesday as well. Good morning, Colin. Cold in Clonelly. Some of the bulbs are out. Yeah, it is cold this morning. Christine, Spanish bluebells are beasts. I got some membrane laid on the front garden and loaded some slate on top to stop the cat poo. Yeah, but the beasts are pushing up through the slate and it looks quite spooky watching little hills forming in the slate. They are brutes, aren't they? They are bullies. Janet's only window shopping in the garden centre. Yeah, Colin, Pete still has to make the coffee on his birthday. And he still had to get up at 6:30 as well. Because we had to get Ben off to college and me to do this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a lion tomorrow.
Oh, thanks.
Trudy, walking around a medieval fort, the banks leading up to it has the peakings of wild garlic, very early. But geologically, the area is an ancient rainforest, so milder. Catkins, yes, saw catkins out on Wednesday as well. Wild garlic's delicious. Louise, have lots of beautiful snowdrops, crocus almost open, daffodils just starting to bud, Spanish bluebells I inherited, a cut for the house so they don't spread. Maria saw bluebells around April time last year. It does depend. It will depend on all sorts of things. I think Mother Nature doesn't work to dates on the calendar, which is kind of my whole point with the Witch for Every Season book, is that she doesn't follow dates on the calendar. So it is, I think, more important to work with the calendar, the seasons, the Sabbats, where you are, so that you're keeping that connection to Mother Nature and that so that you're working with it relevant to your area. Right. So let's have a look at, we've had St. David's Day, that's been and gone. St. Patrick's Day. I mean, I know it's celebrated in Ireland, obviously. I don't see an awful lot of it being celebrated in our local area, particularly. It does seem to be a big thing in America. But St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, so we've got that this year, and we're working with the energy of it, and it's quite a energetic energy because it's all about celebrating. Born the son of a Roman tax collector, apparently, Patrick was sold into slavery at the tender age of 16 and taken to Ireland. Roll forward a few years and he made his escape, and he ended up in Gaul, like you do after a night out. It was there he entered the priesthood. He returned to Ireland to spread the word of God, and they set up churches across Ireland. The shamrock is traditional emblem of Ireland. The origins are believed to be from St. Patrick. In his attempt to convert King Laegaire from paganism to Christianity, he used the 3 leaves of the shamrock to represent the Trinity. 3 separate leaves joined together with 1 stem. Shamrock is a name given to several varieties of plant whose leaves are divided into 3 leaflets supported on 1 stem. It covers lots of plants, clovers, wood sorrel, all sorts of things. I think for this, it is about connecting with that celebration energy. It's about connecting with the spiritual side of it. And I think it is also the Trinity, because we have the Trinity within paganism as well. Whether you look at the triple goddess, the triple god, there's that side of it that you can look at as well. Obviously, if you've got any Irish heritage, you can celebrate. Even if you don't, have a nice Irish feast. They have some fantastic traditional dishes in Ireland. You could also work some luck magic with the image and the idea of the shamrock. Work with the image of the shamrock to connect with the triple goddess or the triple god. So there's ways of adapting any of these traditions, these folk traditions, these celebrations, and making them work for you, but tapping into that energy of that particular celebration. It's a, us thinking outside the box. Lizzie says, pour some neat white vinegar on the plants as it's safe and effective. Repeat as necessary. Okay, I love these, the folk things. Brilliant. Jane, got started on shredding yesterday. There are so many dead sticks in our garden. Don't prune anything woody though, because we're so short of sparrow habitat in this area. We have whole tribes of sparrows. I don't know what the collective word for a sparrow is, but we have it. Whatever it is, we have it. But yeah, I don't cut anything down just yet till they're all sort of finished. Christine, loving our local council now, removing all the play parks here and making bug hotels and hedgehog houses from scrap wood they had already. Oh, I saw your comment earlier. They're also planting hedges for nesting, and also they're sprinkling lots of wildflowers. It's so lovely to see, and they promise they're going to make more. That's brilliant. All hail your local council. Sephora, Mother Nature gets a bit schizophrenic this time of the year. She does. She does. She can't make her mind up at the moment. Emma, on my way of bringing spring into the home. It's a good cleaning of my altar, standing by the rear door, breathing in the air and just asking for spring to come into my home. You can work with the energies of spring, indoors or outdoors. Absolutely. We've all got windows. You can look out the window, you can open the window, and as you've suggested, stand at the back door and just breathe in the energy. Absolutely. Louise, yummy. Wood sorrel, nearly as delicious as wild garlic. I have not tried that. Thank you for that. Colin, yes, obviously Guinness. Definitely worth celebrating. Jane, St. Patrick was a bit of a numpty, couldn't tell the difference between a pagan and a snake. Don't get started on the St. Patrick and the snakes things. If you want to know the reality of it all, do have a look at Morgan Daimler's blog. She tells you the whole real story about St. Patrick and his supposed snakes. She gives you all the actual real details as far as we know them, obviously. Xenia. There are even St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Germany, as we have Irish pubs. It does seem to be a thing. Yeah, we have a chain of Irish pubs over here as well. Maria, I have a Tibetan 4-leaf clover charm on my lucky black poppet. Perfect. Perfect. Pauline, a ubiquity of sparrows. Now, I like that. Excellent. Sue, sister and I are making and throwing wildflower bombs. I slow down a little while driving. She throws. Excellent. I love it. I have got a couple of wildflower packets, actually, which I put in my bag, and I keep meaning to do that as we're driving around. Little Miss Nemo, St. David's Day. It was at the beginning of March when I lived in Pembrokeshire. St. David's Day is taken seriously with children in traditional dress and people wearing daffs and leeks on lapels. I think it should. I think all these things should be celebrated. And there's always a way that you can work it so that you can tap into that energy and make it work for you. Like St. Patrick's Day, making it so that you work with the energy and in a way that suits you. So a couple of days after St. Patrick's Day, we have Mothering Sunday, Sunday 19th of March this year. During the medieval period, the fourth Sunday during Lent was a day when people visited their mother church. That's where it came from. Celebration eventually morphed into honouring our own mothers, but that wasn't until the 17th century, apparently. Often those working in service would be given this day off to go home for a visit. It became a tradition for children to take flowers and simnel cakes with them as gifts. Simnel cake now we tend to associate more with Easter, but its origin was as a Mother's Day gift. The Mother's Day version is a sponge cake with an almond paste filling, i.e. marzipan. Whilst at Easter, it's usually decorated with 11 almond marzipan balls to represent the apostles, not including Judas, of course. Please don't bring me a simnel cake for Mother's Day, because although I eat almost everything on the planet, marzipan is disgusting. So I don't want any simnel cakes. I think for me, Mother's Day is a bit of a commercial celebration, or it seems to have been made into one. I think mothers should be respected and celebrated every day, and fathers too, of course. So I think, and of course, not everyone still has parents around. Not everyone has parents that they connect with. So I think for me, the energy of Mother's Day can be utilized and worked with to work with the goddess in her mother aspect. Perfect day for that, because you're drawing on all the mother energy, or just use it as an excuse for a family gathering. Not that you need an excuse, but I think for me, Mother's Day, if you want to tap into that mother energy, then look to the goddess in her mother aspect and work with it from that point of view. Debbie, blue tits are fighting over the nest boxes. We'll need to put up more boxes for them. I was very excited. There was a blue tit in our garden yesterday on the rose bush, and we don't often get them. We get sparrows, we get pigeons, we get the odd seagull, a couple of magpies, blackbird. Very rarely any other smaller birds, but there was one yesterday, so I was a little bit excited. Good morning, Eve. Leslie Ann says, collective noun for sparrows, a host. Thank you. A host of sparrows. I like that too. Yeah, that's good. Don't worry, Maria. We understand what you're on. Sephora says sparrows are sky mice. I like that. Willow Moon, I've got hiccups now. How do you welcome in the spring? For me, every morning is about going out and letting Eric out, obviously. And it's about breathing in that energy. It's about looking at what's happening in the garden, and it's about just breathing in that energy. So I welcome in the energy of the day every day. So spring is just for me about feeling those subtle changes as the days start to creep towards spring. Usually it is also about changing my altar, giving my altar a good clean, and spring cleaning, because March is the month of purifying and cleansing. So it's about having a good spring clean as well for me. And bringing flowers into the house is good too. Often have a bunch of daffs as well. Jenny, yeah. Marzipan, yuck. Xenia, so I shouldn't bring original marzipan from Luke Breck. No, marzipan's yucky. Yeah, Eve, you can have my marzipan. See, Maria hates marzipan too. Or Emma. Emma will eat the marzipan. Jane, if Germany has Irish pubs, why can't we have Bratwursthausen over here? Bratwurst, sauerkraut, and potato salad washed down with a pint. Yum. Lidl sells all of those things. We do have a German sausage stall, don't we, at Christmas locally? Yeah, they cook all of the bratwurst. Yeah.
The market stall.
Lizzie, St. David was the son of the Prince of Ceredigion. Ceredigion, thank you. Giving me all these words. Yeah. He was a vegetarian, lived to the ripe age of 89, spread the gospel round and about, and allegedly created a miracle. Kids still dress traditionally. I think it's important. I think it is important to keep up these traditions, and I love that they do. Troop of sparrows, getting all these names now. Louise, we must get your share of blue coal, great long-tailed tits, goldfinches. I did have a goldfinch once, and I did have a robin once, and wrens. You must get our share of the sparrows. We do have a lot of them. Karen, we got magpies, coal tits, and long-tailed tits using nest boxes and building nests in our trees. It's so lovely. Oh, starlings. We do get starlings. As soon as I put the fat balls out, we get the starlings. And we do have a couple of magpies that live couple of doors down, not actually in the house, a couple of doors down, but in the shed, a couple of doors down. Xenia, I'm German and I don't like bratwurst that much. I hate sauerkraut, potato salad. Yeah, sauerkraut I'm not a big fan of, I must admit. Colin, I put out wild bird seed on my table and it's generally the larger birds that come to feed. Pigeons, blackbirds and magpies. Yeah, they do. No, another no for marzipan. Xenia, there's been a German sausage restaurant in Soho, Hermannsee German. Oh dear. But sadly, they had to close during the pandemic. Oh no. Maria likes bratwurst. Jane, got one of those flash dust magnets to help with spring cleaning and used the first refill up in seconds. That's a lot of spring cleaning. Debbie overdosed on marzipan as a child, can't stand it now. Yeah, there is something about, I don't like Bakewell tart either. It's that fake almond, like almond essence taste that I don't like. Yes, Christine, Niagara seeds and shelled sunflower seed attract the goldfinches. Yes, I had Niger seeds in a special feeder, but the feeder broke, so I do need to get one of those. So, of course, on from that, we have the spring equinox or Ostara. It falls between the 20th, 23rd of March, depending on which year it is in the southern hemisphere, obviously. It marks the beginning of spring. Druids referred to as Alban Ilir. It's a time of balance. It's a pivotal point in the year when the day is exactly the same length as the night. And it's before the daylight hours begin to grow longer. So it is pivot. And for those of you who are Friends fans, pivot. Ostara is all about fertility. It is a fertility celebration. We celebrate the arrival and growth and abundance. It is the whole new light of spring. It is a very positive celebration. I think the spring equinox is a brilliant time to have a look at your life and see how balanced it is. For most of us, that's probably not very balanced at all. I think we're always seeking balance of some kind. How much time do you spend at work? How much time do you spend traveling? How much time do you spend at home? Family, friends, social engagements? What balances or unbalances do you have? I think it's about just having a look and seeing if it tips the way you want it to. I don't think balance is about equal balance. If you prefer to have it tipped one way more than the other, then go for it. But I think spring equinox is a good time to just have a bit of a look and a reassess to see how things are going and whether you want to make some tweaks. Oh yeah, it's going to be a long day. Or whether you want to make any tweaks to your life to see if there are any changes you want to make it work better for you. I think it's also a good time to work fertility magic of all kinds. It's not necessarily for, pitter patter of tiny little feet, but all about new projects, new ventures, new ideas, even setting yourself new habits, new cycles to work with. It is all about new stuff, fertility, fresh starts, that kind of thing. That's how I see it anyway. Oh. Jane, it wasn't a lot of spring cleaning, it was a lot of dust in a small space. But it's gone now. Eve has blue tits and pigeons and crows. Yeah, they are. Yeah, Karen, Bakewell tart is yucky. I make Bakewell tart, but I make it without the almond extract in it, and it's absolutely fine. Colin used to get Bratwurst on the way home from the pub in Germany. Yep, that makes sense. Kerry, it is Mad March Hair Month. The hair is very prominent this month, isn't it? Maria, time for spring cleaning, planting, decluttering, all fresh for the coming months. Absolutely. Leslie Ann, try Enyo products for your cleaning. Expensive but brilliantly effective and no need for chemical cleaners. I've just found a new one myself and I have been using Purdy and Fig. I did write a review on my blog last week. They're all natural, all with essential oils and very eco-friendly as well. And I've been really impressed with those. Not heard of Enyo. I will look up those. Thank you. Debbie, it is indeed. Spring equinox is about rebalancing and nurturing. Charlie, I love folk traditions. Yep. Even if it's Christianized underneath, a lot of the times they are keeping us connected to the earth, honoring nature, which our ancestors did, keep the folk traditions going. I think folk traditions are really, really important to keep going. It is our heritage. It is our history. And yes, a lot of them were Christianized, but a lot of them you will find there were pagan roots behind them. And even if there wasn't, you can make it your own because you are riding on the energy of it. And I think that's really important. There is another Christian date on the calendar in March, and that is Lady Day. March the 25th is Lady Day. Lady Day. Yeah, I think you're better at saying that than me. It was the day that the Archangel Gabriel visited the Virgin Mary to announce she was with child. A bit of a shock for poor old Mary, but there you go. So that day is March the 25th. And I think with all of that feminine energy, it's a brilliant day to work with the divine feminine and honor the feminine energy in all things. Perfect day for that. Just because it is a date on the Christian calendar is irrelevant to me. It is about working with that energy. It is a tradition. It's a history. It is something that you can work on that energy with. So definite feminine energy that day. And as March is all about fertility and new growth, and although Easter sometimes falls in March, sometimes falls in April, it's in April this year, I think eggs are a big thing this month. Eggs are all about fertility. They're all about new growth. And obviously, eggs have been part of spring festivals and celebrations for a very long time, whether it's Easter, Ostara, Equinox, spring celebration, whatever it might be. Apparently, in the Middle Ages, eggs were taken to the local priest to be blessed because they were seen as sacred. And a boiled egg in particular was seen as magic. Well, you could, runny, liquidy boiled egg, boil it, and it goes solid. Magic. But eggs have been decorated with different colours and given as gifts for a very long time. Eggs hidden as treasure hunts, egg rolling games. The egg is a symbol of fertility. It's a symbol of life and all creation. It's perfect for springtime. And it also carries all 4 elements in the one little tiny package. So the shell is earth, the inner membrane is air, the yolk is fire, and the egg white is water. So you've got all the 4 elements in one complete tiny package. The yolk is often seen as a representation of the sun as well. And of course, the modern interpretation is made of chocolate. I'm not going to argue with that. I often have little painted china eggs on my spring altar. But you can work with eggs for divination. You can paint the eggs. You can paint the eggs and then boil them and then read any cracks and marks on the shell. You can fill a bowl with water and drip egg white onto it, and then you can read the shapes and images that it makes. You can paint eggshells in different colours for decoration. You can try dyeing them with natural colours. Beetroot, onion skin, things like that. We'll boil them in the water with that, and it will turn them in different colours. So there's lots of different ways to work with eggs, particularly for divination. There's some fun ways to work with them as well. But they're all about March and spring, new energy. I'm really struggling with my words today, aren't I? Louise, without fail, when I fill my Niger's feeders within 1 hour, the goldfinch arrive. They must have a patrol. Yes, they do. They must do, mustn't they? When I fill the bird feeders, there's kind of a little message goes out. Emma, what would we use that's native in the UK for a spring smudging? Would the Vikings used mugwort? When they were over here, they used mugwort to cleanse with smoke. Lots of cultures cleanse with smoke and have done for millions, well, not millions of years, but have done for a very long time. Lots and lots of cultures across the globe. And they'll use whatever's growing locally to them. So the Vikings would have used mugwort. I tend to use whatever's in my garden. So I will use sage, but I use the green garden sage that I grow. Rosemary works really well as well. Sometimes I mix rosemary, lavender and sage together. But I would use whatever you have growing in your garden. But yeah, mugwort's good. Rosemary's good. Whatever works for you, Emma, really. Go with something that you're drawn to. Xenia, I agree with Charlie. I like folk traditions too, whether they are pagan and Christianized or Christian and got paganized. Yep. Willow Moon. Spring's a great time of the year to make positive plans with healthy choices, decluttering and seeing if you can still fit into last year's clothes. Yeah, there is that. Jane, I went to a convent school and we used to have a maypole at Beltane. Yes, the idea of nuns doing a fertility dance went over my head then, but it seems pretty weird looking back. All the school fates and all of the little country villages that have maypoles, they have no idea. They have no idea. Trudy, Women's World Day, March the 8th. Thank you for that. I hadn't got that one noted down. Have a good day. Colin, Christine, cannot eat eggs, but I tell everyone I eat chocolate eggs to celebrate Ostara. That's good. That's all good. Xenia, history of maypoles is interesting. Back in time, they apparently were covered in greenery and flowers. You couldn't see the shape of the pole anymore. Emma, egg and spoon, yes. Willow Moon, Cadbury's cream eggs in white chocolate are amazing and already decorated. I'm not even going to deign that with white chocolate. It's just evil. No, not white chocolate. Jane, goldfinches are keen users of Twitter. I think they must be. Xenia, mugwort, yes, 'tis good. 'Tis good for smudging. Debbie, there was hardly any mugwort last year. I used bay leaves, rosemary and sage. Perfect. Perfect. Willow Moon, there's a feeling of shock when you open up. And it's the wrong colour. I would. If I opened up a cream egg and it was white, I would not be happy. Trudy, mugwort is my go-to big feminine energy. Mugwort's lovely for cleansing. It is very, very good for cleansing. There are obviously some plants that are associated with March. The blackthorn, thorny bush of the sloe fruit, which makes me think of sloe gin because it always does. During the spring, the blackthorn has pretty white blossoms, and I've seen a few flowering. Oh dear, I really am struggling with words today. I have seen a few blackthorns in flower. The blossoms can be used for magic along with leaves, and blackthorn thorns are brilliant for working magic with. Use them fresh or dry them for later use. Blackthorn, very, very magical. The blackthorn branches also make good divining rods. if you can find a Y-shaped branch or 2 L-shaped branches, and by branch I mean, thin twigs, you can use them as divining rods. The thorns, brilliant for using in magic. You can use them to carve and inscribe candles, or you can add them to protection, incenses, and spell pouches. Blackthorn twigs are also used in magic for healing and cleansing, so it's a perfect plant to use at this time of the year. The other one that is in flower now is the camellia. Beautiful spring flowering shrub. Pink flowers, white flowers, or red flowers, depending on the type. It is my go-to flower for prosperity and abundance. For me, it is the money flower. You can use them fresh, you can use them dried, in all kinds of money and prosperity spell workings. I think it's also quite a spiritual flower as well. It brings quite a spiritual energy with it and can help you with your spiritual connection and the energy as well. And I mentioned primroses briefly earlier. They are all flowering now, often found, the ones in the garden centre flowering now. The other ones might take a little bit longer in the wild, but you do find them in the wild. Primroses sure sign that spring is on the way. Wild ones tend to be yellow or white. The ones you buy in the garden centres, primroses, primulas, you can get them in all kinds of colours. Please don't pick them if you see them out in the wild. They are struggling for survival as a wildflower, so leave them be. But get some from the garden centre, put them in your garden. They are a very, very good plant for fairy connection if you work with the fairy world. They also help you deal with changes. Primrose is a really good one to use in magical workings to help you deal with changes. Also very good for protection and also good to bring love to you. And primrose covers all kinds of growth, personal, spiritual, material, hopefully not your waistline. So my 3 kind of go-to plants for March are those 3. Just keep an eye open when you're out and about. Pauline, according to a chocolatier I met, white chocolate is just goop as there's no cocoa. No, there is no cocoa. There's no cocoa in it. It is white fat, basically. Sue, cream eggs, chocolate covered, full of snot. That's not a good description. Actually, it's probably quite a good description, actually, thinking about it. Kerry doesn't like white chocolate, but I do like marzipan. So that's good and bad. Good and bad. Debbie, mugwort is nice as a tea. Not my favourite, but you can have the tea, Debbie. Tess, is this all in the witch? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Where are we? Here we are. A witch for every season.
Oh, is that your book?
Oh, I've gone again.
I didn't touch it.
No, you didn't touch it this time. The camera is having a bit of an argument today. Camera's having a bit of an argument. It's all in a witch for every season. Yes, there's all that information every single month of the year. Kerry, liquid cleansing is a thing for me. Small spray bottle mix of water and essential oil sprayed in corners of rooms and smells beautiful. Perfect. Yes, perfect. If you can't do cleansing with smoke or don't want to do cleansing with smoke, that's a brilliant option. Debbie, would love blackthorn in the garden. Not sure I could deal with the thorns though. Squirrels eat your camellia flowers. Wow, I didn't know they ate those. Mad. Willow Moon. White chocolate is an abomination. I'm with you on that one, Willow Moon. Jenny, mugwort tastes like bottom. Yes, I totally agree with you, Jenny. But it is good for dreaming. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
The question would be, how do you know what bottom?
I'm not even going to ask, Jenny.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask.
I feel the need to ask.
Heather, flower oracle cards are very useful. Thank you. Yes, I have my flower oracle deck. Kerry, just ordered witch for every season. It's arriving tomorrow. Thank you. I had great fun writing that book because it for me it was a way of delving into all of the folk traditions and the celebrations and making them work for me. You can make all of these celebrations and all of these traditions, whatever they are in your area, you can put your own spin on them. But because they are folk traditions, because they are historic and connected with your area, you can tap into the energy of it. And it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. It'll take you on a rabbit hole, diving into the local traditions and celebrations in your area. Maria was going to buy another camellia, but wasn't sure the weather would actually kill them. We never had any problems. Never had any problems. They seem very hardy, Maria, so it shouldn't be an issue. Jane, I'll try a decaf tea bag plus mugwort tonight. See if I dream well. Let us know how you get on, Jane. Let us know how you get on. I don't like the taste of it, but I do use it in magical workings, and it is very good for cleansing and purifying. Very good for using in your smudging. Very true, Louise. Thank you. Camellia needs the ericaceous soil. Grows very well in air garden because their soil does lean that way. But Maria, I'm assuming you would put it in a pot anyway. So get some ericaceous soil for it. It does like your coffee grounds as well. They're very good to feed it. With. So for me, I think it is about connecting with the energy of the day, connecting with the energy of the month, connecting with the energy that's around you. And you can do that sitting in your front room or standing in your garden. It has to work for you, obviously. But I think working with these folk traditions, these celebrations, historic celebrations, can really help you tap into the energy of the month, because each month brings its own individual energy, and these celebrations are a really good way of tapping into that. Leslie Ann, please don't spray essential oil if you have cats. Licking it off their skin can kill them. You have to be really careful with essential oils if you have pets in the home. Some of them can be very, very toxic to your pets. So do be very, very mindful, very careful of that. Some of the oils are worse than others, of course. But yeah, do be careful, do be mindful, obviously. So yeah, I think it is about tapping into that energy. Have a look, have a feel, have a listen. A question I'm asked quite often is, how do I connect with the energy? Step outside your back door, open your window, breathe in the air, but use all your senses. Use your sense of smell, use your sense of sight, use your sense of listening, and use your sense of feeling, your spidey senses. It's about looking at what's happening in nature, but it's about listening to what's happening as well. And it's about feeling, and it's the pivotal points in the year where you can smell the change in the seasons. You can start to smell that fresh kind of crisp air at the beginning of autumn, and you can smell that kind of fresh spring air now. So it's about being open with all of your senses to pick up on all those different changes. And everyone will have slightly different sounds, senses, smells, depending on where you are in the world and where your seasons will change and where your weather will be different. It'll be different for everyone. So it is about connecting into the energy in your area. Just because these things are on certain dates doesn't necessarily mean that ties in with your local area. So it's about being a bit flexible with the dates on the calendar as well. It has gone quickly, Emma, hasn't it? Put it in my steamer once and think that's why I got sick. Never done it again. You have to be careful about what you're putting out into the air. Jane, good time to listen to tree trunks and hear the trees waking up. Yes, absolutely. Kerry, yes, pets. Don't have cats and do pay consideration to our dog. Usually it's a room to be closed for the day. Makes a lovely, refreshing space to come home to. Yeah. Marianne, really positive and informative. Off to get some Niger and sunflower seeds. Different birds like different foods. So the types of seeds, the types of bird food, the types of fat balls, they all like different things. That's why if you go into the garden centre, you will see all different types of bird food, because each one of them attracts different types of bird. Debbie, I like to walk the garden, take off my shoes and feel the grass beneath my feet, but only when it's not frosty. Bit nippy when it's frosty. But that brings another energy with it as well, doesn't it? You can feel that frost in the air as well. So it is about connecting with the energy of where you are, but it's also about having a look and researching into all of the different folk traditions in your area. But don't discard any of these big celebration holidays, Mother's Day, St. Patrick's Day. Work with the energy of them. They can all be tweaked to work for your religion, your pathway, the way that you work with things. Just tap into that energy and make it work for you. Sephora says, can highly recommend growing some foxtail millet for the little birds. Thank you for that. Excellent. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Yes, we're I'm going to have fried breakfast now. I'm not going to have any cleansing, purifying herbs. I'm going to have a fried breakfast. It'll make me feel better. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it every day, but you know, Pete's birthday. Thank you, as always, everyone, for joining me. It's always an absolute pleasure. And Pete, thanks you for all of his birthday wishes as well. Karen, cleanse with the cream cake. I like your thinking. Are you going to say thank you to them? Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Hope to see some of you at WitchCon. And otherwise, I will catch up with you all next week. Take care, everyone, and have fun spring cleaning.